From our Center for the Arts studio, this is Good Afternoon Ashland, your news and sports update show. I'm Evan Laux.
And I'm Sean Rapuyan. Thanks for tuning in.
Jeromesville is in the process of restoring old water lines with money coming from their pandemic recovery funds. With a total of $111,000, the village will have the ability to install new water lines that have not been updated since the 1930s. Jeromesville Mayor Randy Spade did not realize the need for new water lines until a fire recently tore through parts of Main Street in March. With help from the Ohio Public Works Commission, the replacement of the lines will begin immediately.
Recently, Ohio lawmakers are showing support for a military base located in Mansfield in the hopes to be a part of a new mission. The 179th Air Wing at Mansfield Lahm Airport is in jeopardy of not flying anymore due to the Air Force wanting to downsize the number of the C-130H model planes, 8 of which are located here in Ohio. The sponsor of this campaign, Representative Marilyn John from Shelby, rallied for support since late 2020 to keep the base open for flying missions, along with being a part of the Air National Guard. Information Warfare Wing. Mansfield is one of 2 finalists to be granted this status. The resolution will head to the Ohio State Senate for a possible consideration. As we all know, college students run on coffee, an early morning caffeinated drink, can oftentimes mean the difference between a productive day and hours sprawled across the couch. Earlier this year, AU brought a new coffee provider to the first floor of the Hawkins-Kennard Student Center. Evan Laux has the story.
At the beginning of the 2021 spring semester, Ashland University's grab-and-go dining service, the Eagle's Nest, announced their new coffee provider, the Crimson Cup. Starbucks has resided on campus for close to a decade. Dining services ordered all the products through Nestle but retained the Starbucks name. Director of Dining Services Fred Geib decided to forego Starbucks after a Nestle tracking mistake caused 2 orders to be sent right before the pandemic hit.
So at that point, the loss in just food costs from that was about $15,000, and we just threw that product out. They refused to take any of that product back, even though it was not open, still in the original case, saying it was contaminated.
Geib decided to run with Crimson Cup, an Ohio-owned coffee business.
Crimson Cup, they are very customer service oriented, not with just us, but with the people that they buy their beans and the culture of that company. They're out of Columbus, Ohio, which is cool. We do a lot of business locally.
While many students were disappointed by the switch, some like what Crimson Cup has to offer.
I think the Starbucks never held up to my hopes of what a normal Starbucks drink would taste like. I like this one just because I think there's a lot of different options with the iced tea lemonades and the frozen drinks and the different kinds of coffees.
The Crimson Cup is open during Eagle's Nest hours and can be ordered through Grubhub for pickup. For AUTV 20, Evan Laux.
Crimson Cup is available for in-person pickup or through the Grubhub app for students during the Eagle Nest hours.
When we come back, we'll look at Ashland University's theater department and their final show of the year.
And later we will head over to LYDIA BICE to see what is making spikeball so popular on AU's campus.
Stay tuned, you're watching Good Afternoon Ashland.
From our Center for the Arts studio, this is AUTV 20. It's more than a college TV station. It's award-winning student-made content.
It's the best in news and sports.
It's talking to campus.
It's reaching out into the community.
It's real-world experience.
It's AUTV 20.
.9 WRDL is Ashland University's own award-winning student-run radio station covering music, news, sports, and more. From early birds word to individual DJ shifts, WRDL gives students the opportunity to not only hone their skills to become tomorrow's radio professionals today, but also serve their campus and community and play today's hits at the same time. More music, more you. 88.9 WRDL.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ashland. An elementary school in Mansfield was given a $10,000 grant for a new outdoor classroom. Spring Mill STEM Elementary School received this grant from the Directions Credit Union to create a new space for their new hands-on learning initiative. This was started by the third grade classes at the school. Spring Mill was one of the 3 finalists for this grant, but the goal is to allow their students to work and solve real-world problems. As the next school year grows near, that class of third graders will be the official designers for the look of the outdoor classroom.
Recycling in Ashland will resume this June as the county finalized a contract with the recycling company. Kimball Recycling and Disposal will be the new company to help navigate all the materials that need recycling. Back in mid-December, the county stopped offering this service, and many were concerned on what to do with their materials. The 5-year contract will allow for people to drop off their recyclables in the green and yellow cans provided by the company. One bin will be allowed for paper and cardboard, while the other will be for plastic, glass, and metal. Pickups for the cans will begin this June and will happen on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The Ashland University Department of Theater has been streaming their recent production, Theory of Relativity, since March 5th. As the show begins to close on May 1st, things are looking up in the air for COVID restrictions as it comes to the arts. AUTV20's Anthony Marchetta has the story.
Hi, I'm Anthony Marchetta, and I'm sitting in Hugo Young Theater at Ashland University currently, where nothing is really happening right now. However, that's not the case when it comes to Ashland University's 2021 musical, Theory of Relativity. With a cast size of only 13 people, this musical is unlike any other.
Unlike previous musicals at Ashland, the actors were required to wear face masks while they were performing. However, they were still able to have a great time working with their fellow performers.
My name is Matt Plum. It's been very weird. For one thing, having to be social distance while doing a musical is something very new to me. It's new to everyone, but I think it's only helped me grow as an actor because this is something completely new that was kind of dropped on me out of nowhere.
The performance was filmed at Hugo Young Theater, the same place where Ashland's play Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare was performed earlier in the school year.
We are very fortunate that we have been able during this past year to perform 2 plays in the fall, live actors for a live audience. I think theater will continue. Like I said, it is not the way that it used to be, but we will continue to find ways to stream and create and present something to audiences that are there and just watching it in a different way than we did before.
Anthony Marchetta, AUTV20.
Looking towards next fall, nothing is concrete, but Dr. Durbin Ames is hopeful that the theater department will be in full swing in the fall. When we come back, Lydia BICE will dive into all the news happening in sports. Right before that, field reporter Elena Ross had the chance to talk to JDM alumna Ingrid Schmidt about her time here in the JDM department and what she's been doing down in Atlanta during Alumni Access. You're watching Good Afternoon Ashland.
.9 WRDL is Ashland University's own award-winning student-run radio station covering music, news, sports, and more. From early birds work to individual DJ shifts, WRDL gives students the opportunity to not only hone their skills to become tomorrow's radio professionals today, but also serve their campus and community and play today's hits at the same time. More music, more you. 88.9 WRDL.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's nice to be here.
So I wanted to get in contact with you because I know that you are a relatively recent graduate out of our JDM program. So could you tell us a little bit about what you are doing now?
Yeah, so I am down in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. I am working as the lead video producer for a marketing firm called LYDIA Partners. So we do a lot of podcasting, like right now I'm in the podcast studio, but we also do green screen stuff with animated videos, like anything video related, we can do it, but we also have marketing services, we do strategy, we do branding, we do website design, but I am just the lead video person here.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So what skills that you learned in JDM do you apply to your current position?
Well, I would say I learned a lot of leadership skills working with AUTV20. I was a station manager for probably 2 years, maybe more. I don't remember. And I think leading a team really helps me in my current job because I have some interns under me, and I have a remote person under me, and I have like a full-time person. So I think those leadership skills and working with the team, but also setting up studio equipment, doing live stuff. I find that working on the games really, after you work on the games, any other live production, like John always said, it feels super easy. So we do live podcasts, no stress because, once you do basketball or football, it's no big deal anymore. So I think those are probably the biggest two.
Awesome. Well, what is your favorite memory from JDM?
My favorite memory from JDM? I would say just hanging out with people in the studio. I loved studio days. I loved shooting stuff. And so teaching people how to use equipment or directing myself, or I love doing talent work. So anytime I was in the studio interviewing or even out in the field interviewing, I was super happy.
Awesome. And then the very last question that I want to ask is a little bit selfish on my part because I'll be graduating here in May. But what advice do you have to our new JDM graduates?
I would say what helped me was just applying for everything. Right out of college, I was working at WMFD, the station in Mansfield, and I was doing that because I had already got my foot in the door doing sports with them. But when I moved down to Georgia, I just applied for every job, and this job was actually listed as production assistant. And I've been here for a little over a year now. The job description was like uploading files to Dropbox, combing through footage, stuff that sounded kind of boring, not really my jam, but I applied anyway. And I learned that they were looking for someone that could kind of fill the role that I'm doing now. They wanted someone that could edit, but they just had listed like the bare minimum stuff. So just apply for everything. You never know where you can go in a company. Anything that seems like it might be of any interest, apply for it, talk to the company, see what's happening, talk to as many people as you can. And also, an interviewing tip is make sure you've researched the company before. And I just hired some interns for the spring, and the ones that really impressed me were the ones that had gone to our website and had seen our content. And when I'm describing what we do, they're like, we already know because I totally love your stuff. And I went to your website, went to your socials, I went to your YouTube. And also ask about company culture and core values. One of the great things about the position I'm in now is the culture is super relaxed. It's super friendly and awesome. And so it's really important to make sure you ask those kinds of questions when you're interviewing.
Great. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Well, just thank you for having me on today, and I wish the best of luck, and just take as many opportunities that come your way. You never know where life is going to take you. I didn't think I was going to end up in Atlanta, but here I am enjoying the sunshine.
Great. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Good Afternoon Ashland Sports Update. I'm LYDIA BICE. Thanks for tuning in. Ashland University's football program will have 6 camps and a 7-on-7 tournament this summer at the Dwight Scharr Athletic Complex from May to July. The first camp is called the Rising Star Camp on May 16th for those in grades 9 to 12. The second is the Rising Star Camp Under the Lights, which is on May 21st for grades 9 to 12. Next is the Kicking Camp on June 5th and 6th and July 24th and 25th, hosted by thekickingcoach.com. There will also be a quarterback and wide receiver camp on June 9th and a youth camp on June 14th to the 17th for those in grades 3 through 8. The final camp of the summer is called the Big Man Camp on July 21st for offensive and defensive linemen. Lastly, the 7-on-7 tournament is on July 21st for high school teams. All teams are guaranteed 4 games, and the field is limited to 16 teams. The Great Midwest Athletic Conference has admitted Northwood University as the 13th full member, as announced in a release published by the league on April 29th. Northwood will enter Great Midwest membership on July 1st, 2022. Northwood, a private NCAA Division II member, will bring all 18 intercollegiate programs to the Great Midwest. Ashland University will officially join the Great Midwest on July 1st, 2021. The Eagles wrestling program was an associate member of the Great Midwest during the 2020-2021 school year. As COVID-19 vaccinations become more prevalent and pandemic restrictions lessen, many people have been looking for reasons to get out of the house and stay active. Some have returned to former hobbies, while others have found new interests. Several AU students in particular have been participating in a new and growing sport around campus. AU TV 20's Evan Laux has the story.
If you've noticed recently, there's been a lot of students in the quad playing a new game that's been gaining traction at high schools and colleges across the country. Its name, Spike Ball.
My favorite part about Spike Ball is that it's high-paced, lots of energy, and I love playing sports that have hand-eye coordination.
The game shares many similarities with volleyball and is played between 2 teams of 2 that take turns hitting a rubber ball against a circular net at the other team. Teammates are able to pass the ball up to 3 times before they hit it back against the net, and a point is scored once the opposing team is unable to make a successful return.
It's just that you can be with your friends and just enjoy a good time, and it's competitive, but it's still fun. And you can do it pretty much anywhere. I'm pretty sure the sport is going to grow overall throughout the years.
Spike Ball is most widely played as a casual yard game as of now, but the competitive nature of the game has led to multiple professional leagues being formed.
They make an effort back towards net. Can't seem to find it. Take another one.
I say it would be made for anyone. You just need to know the rules. You might run into someone if you're chasing the ball down, so you might be a bit careful with that, but overall I think everyone can enjoy the sport.
The game has gained enough attraction at Ashland University that it's been included as an intramural sport for the past couple years.
They have Instagram and social media handles for it, tournaments and stuff. I think it would grow pretty big.
As warmer weather continues to approach and summer break comes closer, more students are spending time in the quad, and this year, many will most likely be found around the Spike Ball net. For AU TV 20, Evan Laux.
Spike Ball finished their first tournament this semester. For more information about Spike Ball, contact Recreational Services at recservices@ashland.edu. Up the road in Cleveland, the 2020 Browns reached the playoffs for the first time since the 2002 season and won their first playoff game since the 1994 season with a 48-37 wildcard win over their division rivals, the Steelers. That being said, the Browns made major strides during the 2020 season, and they looked to continue that growth with their 26th overall draft pick, Greg Newsome II. Newsome is a cornerback from Northwestern University. The 2021 NFL Draft runs until Saturday, May 1st, and it is being held in Cleveland at multiple locations across downtown, including First Energy Stadium and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In MLB news, Bryce Harper is lucky to have avoided complete disaster on April 28th when the MLB star was drilled in the nose by a 97-mile-per-hour pitch, but thankfully, he says he's somehow all good. The All-Star Phillies outfielder was up to bat in the 6th inning of Philadelphia's tilt with St. Louis when a Cardinals pitcher let one get away from him and smashed Harper right in the face. Of course, with players like Giancarlo Stanton having suffered severe damage from being hit with pitches in the face in the past, many feared the worst for Harper. But fortunately, Harper said in a video after the game he passed all tests and expects to recover in no time. Now that you're caught up on sports, I'll send you back over to Sean and Evan.
A group for sexual assault survivors on campus named Elevate led a protest on Ashland University's campus 2 weeks ago. Around 30 students participated in the event to amplify their voices in several areas. They feel the school is lacking, specifically the Title IX process. With permission from administration, Elevate's founder, Rena Britt, led the group with signs and shared her testimony to the crowd, which led to others coming forward and sharing their experiences. AUTV 20's Avery Fitzgerald has the story.
2, 4, 6, 8, stop the violence, stop the rape.
It was here just days ago where Ashland University students took to the streets to advocate for sexual assault survivors, both on campus and off. The protesters gathered at the fountain in front of the Student Center and marched to the sidewalks that surround Claremont Avenue and King Road.
I think the university is silencing survivors of sexual assault on their campus, and I don't think that's right. Campuses around the world should be a safe place for students to, tell their stories and be taken seriously, and that's why I'm here today.
Those men don't deserve to go on to their second and third and fourth. They should be gone with their first one, and I hate
This demonstration comes at the heels of the university's action to take down 3 shirts from Elevate and Safe Haven's display of the Clothesline Project, stating that this was due to false and identifiable information. Some students who led the project think that this, however, was a way that the university suppressed the voices of survivors.
On April 1st, I tweeted some pictures of the Clothesline Project, and I just really thought that those shirts, spoke out to me. They pulled my heartstrings, so I tweeted them, and I only expected to get a couple likes. It ended up having over 300,000 views. When I tweeted that, I had no idea the impact it would have or the stories that would be shared. I believe in Ashland University as a whole, and someday, I'd want my children to come here, but I'd only want my children to come here if this is a safe university for all students, men and women.
I started Elevate as a sexual empowerment and advocacy group for survivors of sexual violence. And I started this because I went through the Title IX process here at Ashland, and there wasn't enough support for people going through it. I wanted to make sure that people didn't feel the way that I did and actually had a group of peers who know what they're going through or really want to support them and make them feel validated in the process.
They need to go and they need to blame the rapists and find them guilty instead of protecting them, no matter if they're on our sports team, no matter if they're in a fraternity, no matter if...
Cheers filled the air after each survivor at the protest shared their story.
We are being suppressed and it needs to stop now.
These stories shed light on the attacks that have transpired on campus and their experiences of getting help through the Title IX policy. From AUTV 20, I'm Avery Fitzgerald.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of Good Afternoon Ashland. To keep up on AUTV 20, make sure to follow us across all social media at AUTV 20.
And tune into the Early Birds Word 7 to 9 weekday mornings on 88.9 WRDL FM.
Also, pick up a copy of the award-winning newspaper, The Collegian, and check out au-live.com for more news and content from the JDM department.
We would like to thank the crew here today at AUTV 20 for making this all possible. I'm Evan Laux.
And I'm Sean Rapuyan. Thanks for watching.